Deb, you ready? We're on your end? We're on?
I'm ready.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Southbury Planning Commission to order. Would everyone join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic
and to the republic for which it stands,
nation, under God,
one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Larry Adzimer.
Thank you, everybody.
Is now joining.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Okay, we're good. All right, let's see. So we don't need to seat anybody, right? I'm here, Nancy Harmon, Alex, Ron, and Bob. So we're all good. So we don't need any alternates. Okay.
I could still listen in, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
You're a member of the commission, of course. All right, so let's starting off with unfinished business. Andrew, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, excellent. So if you can, thanks for being on the call tonight. The commission's looking forward to getting a pretty brief, high-level view of what your actually project entails. We kind of have an idea already, but if you can take us through the high points, and then we'll
right.
take it from there.
Yeah, so well, thank you for your time. So what I'm doing is at the red shed at Sedler's Field, I'm gonna put in a non-permitted just platform to rest all the lacrosse nets on during like the off seasons, so they don't deteriorate and are looking bad out in like the middle of the fields.
Okay. Does anybody have a question for Andrew regarding what we're seeing on the screen or just in general on the project?
How large is the platform?
Well, so it's going to be an 8x6. Or 8, yeah, I'm sorry, 8x10.
8 by 10, okay.
Okay.
Can we?
And it's going to be, the top is going to be made of Trex. So it's going to be, and then the base is just going to be concrete footings, which you could just take right out of the ground.
Okay. Any other questions on that, Harmon?
Has the Park and Rec director approved this?
Yes, that's the first people I've reached out to. And I talked to the first selectman too.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
All right. So when do you plan on starting this project, Andrew?
As soon as possible. So I just need to get the donations for lumber and everything, and then I'll be starting it. Unless there's some restrictions with the COVID.
Okay. Any other commission members? Just say your name and you can ask Andrew a question.
This is Alex.
Hi, Alex.
I just wanted to kind of echo our sentiment, or my sentiment, about the Planning Commission won't be kind of weighing in on the pandemic and the restrictions regarding that. However, I would assume and expect that Andrew would be following any and all guidelines with regards to restrictions for health and safety.
Yep.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could definitely do so.
All right. So you'll have to get clearance from the town hall, obviously, when it's time to start. When the town says
Okay.
when we're able to open up again. Does anyone else have any questions at all for Andrew before we go ahead and take a vote for him?
Andrew, this is Nancy Clark, and I think you already answered these questions with the planning staff. But my two questions were, how are you securing the nets, and will they be covered?
So after talking to the head of Pomfrog Lacrosse, he said it won't be covered. They just need to be like off the ground, and we're going to be securing them with chains just so nothing happens to them.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else on the commission? All right. So we'll just take a vote on it and approve it tonight then. Okay. Anyone want to I'll make a motion to approve it. Second?
Second,
Ron
Harmon.
Kennedy, I'll second it.
So that was who for a second?
Second?
Say your name first and then say motion, okay?
Go ahead, Harmon. You beat me to it.
Okay,
Harmon Andrews with a second. All right, all in favor?
second.
All right, I'll do a roll call for it. Nancy Clark,
Aye.
Harmon Andrews,
Yes?
Alex,
Aye.
Ron,
Aye.
Bob Harrison.
Aye.
Any further discussion before we approve?
No.
It passed. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, moving right along here. The subdivision for Lot 2, McGrath, 1511 Kettletown Road. I see you're out there, John Mack, I see that. Give us 1 second on that.
We're here.
Yep.
We're here.
Kath, we'll just look for an extension on this? What
No,
are we actually looking for?
this is Kathy Casagnetta speaking. So I did a staff review of this application, and there is the only question that I had remaining, I know John will talk about it some more, was with regard to the common driveway. It looked in the regulations to me that a common driveway could only serve 2 interior lots, but from what I understand, the commission has allowed common driveways to serve more than 2 lots in the past. So I sort of went through that in my staff memo. So I think that that's pretty much the only real decision you have to make. Everything else totally complied with the regulations. It's a state road, and we got all the sign-offs from everyone else. So,
Anybody have any questions on it for John before we let him, if he needs to talk on any additional information?
I have one question. This is Nancy.
Nancy?
I think it is a good solution since there's runoff next to Kettletown Brook. I think the driveway solution is good. One question I had, Mylona McBroom had some questions about the soil and erosion controls. And I think you complied with that, but I'm not sure. Did you give it back to them?
yeah, all Malone McBroom's questions were answered. This is Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
This is better.
Anybody else have a question on this subject? John, if you have nothing else to add, I guess we can just,
Oh, can you,
I'm sorry?
you can hear us?
I can barely hear John. Can
Hello?
you hear him okay? Oh, okay.
Hello?
We're having a little trouble hearing you, John.
Can you unmute me?
Oh, I think we lost
I
him.
approve.
Of course.
Harmon approves.
Okay, give us 1 second. We're having a technical issue here. Yeah, so if you guys can get close to your microphone, it would help us tremendously.
All
So,
right.
John, the
can
floor
you
is
hear me?
yours.
Okay, if anybody can hear me, this is Charlie Spath. I'm here with John.
Oh, okay.
You can, okay, we didn't know if you can hear us.
Yep.
So, yes, regarding the driveways, it's been common practice. What we've done in the past is to lessen disturbance on certain projects as long as we have the frontage for the lot, and we make all zoning requirements. It's been in the past approved that we can do less driveways. So what we do is we show that we can put a driveway adjacent to the existing driveway in a state road, and we do meet zoning requirements, but we only want to use the existing driveway for the 3 lots,
Okay.
and that's been common
Yeah.
practice.
John, we walked this before, didn't we?
Yeah, this is Charlie. John's right here, but yes, you might have. It's been going on a long time. Yeah.
Yeah,
probably,
yeah, this is the one with the
Yeah.
ticks in the field.
No, that might be a different one, but
Oh,
this
okay,
one
sorry.
is there was an existing house, and we did a first cut on the house, so there was 1 front lot, 1 rear lot, and then now we're doing a subdivision on the rear portion, and I think the original, I think it was 12 acres to begin with. It's 8 or 12. but it's a pretty big piece to begin with. And there was a house in the front, and then there was land in the back.
Yes.
So what we did, we're giving up. We're trying to read it as it flashes across the screen. We don't have it in front of us. So I think
Yeah, I know. I'm seeing what
It
you're
might-
seeing, so.
Yeah, it's a good piece of acreage. Actually, Ed Nagy called us on it this week. He was going to go take a look at it. But it's backed up against the open space now that the town of Southbury has. And it's pretty much the best land. If you look at the contours, what we're giving up is a good portion of land just in the back, so it's hard to get to.
Yeah.
So we proposed the 2 lots up closer to the street. So. And Nancy, sorry, go ahead.
I almost could swear we talked about a common driveway for the 3 lots before.
We probably did, because as we were going along, we did a first cut and we showed what we wanted to do eventually, which was the 1 extra lot. So it's been approved by the state. So the state, this is a state road, Kettletown Road. We do have zoning, we do make zoning compliance with the frontage and the minimum width for access. We're just trying to keep to the 1 existing driveway that's there now, and that'll be widened.
Okay.
This is
Thank you
Alex.
very much.
Was this the property that had the drainage or the bridge issue with the driveway previously?
No, there was
Okay.
one with the actually right next to the driveway. There is a culvert that Kettletown Road, crosses beneath the road just before the driveway. So if we had to add a driveway to the north, we'd be affecting that. You're probably talking about down the road to the north, maybe probably 1/4 mile. There is a culvert that was put in the last year, and there's 3 lots off that culvert. That's probably what you're thinking about.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So they're not the same project. Thanks.
Charlie, this is Richard. Is this the land that had that rare tree on it that you guys were saving? Remember there's a project
No,
recently?
No, that's
That
the
was
one by the,
2.
yeah, that's the one by the 172.
Okay,
And,
all right. Sounds good. I just want to make sure we weren't getting confused. Excellent. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
That's the tick field.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other
Motion to
questions for the
approve.
guys?
Motion to approve subdivision application, Lot 2 McGrath.
I would say, should we do this is Kathy, a resolution though? So for the next meeting, we'll have a resolution ready?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so we'll do that, if everybody's
that-
good with everything.
And let's indicate that we're suspending the requirement for the driveways because he showed that it was feasible, that it's a better environmental solution for the 1 driveway.
Until we get a second motion.
I'll second it. It's Ron Conti.
Ron Conti, thank you. So we're going to have a resolution done by Kathy to go ahead with this. All in favor of approving this with the resolution?
I think, do you want to wait till the next?
You wanna wait till the next meeting?
resolution's
Yeah.
ready?
We'll
Yeah.
Carry it, we'll carry the
Yeah.
resolution, okay. So we'll carry it to the June meeting then?
Yeah,
June
and we'll have a resolution that,
June 16th, is that it? June 16th?
yes.
Work? Okay, all right. So,
All right,
we'll take a
thank
vote
you.
on that, to resolution, we don't need to?
I don't think,
Okay,
no,
okay.
we got a consensus.
Okay, excellent. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. I'll see you in June.
All right, moving on to new business. We have to accept the public hearing for the town of Southbury, 61 Peter
John
Road.
Mack.
I'm sorry?
is now exiting.
Oh, okay. Town of Southbury, 61 Peter Road, special exception and site plan application to allow construction of a new town fueling station.
I'm confused. I just want to make sure somebody explains this to me before I approve or disapprove.
Okay,
Exactly What are we approving?
Okay, we are, the
We're-
town,
We're just accepting.
Right,
Mrs.
we're just
Nancy,
accepting it.
accepting. We're not approving anything.
Accepting, I'm sorry, Nancy, what are we accepting?
A new application.
Okay, so we haven't seen an application, we're not voting on an application, we're not approving an application, we're just saying, on the June 19th meeting, you can come.
So, this is Kathy. So, when you get an application in for a special exception, you accept it and you schedule a public hearing.
Right.
So there's no discussion on it yet until the public hearing. Right tonight, you're just scheduling the hearing. You're deciding what meeting date, night you want to have it.
correct,
Sir, thank you very much, I appreciate that.
okay.
I'm a
So,
little slow.
we'll take a vote on that. We'll take a vote on that, to schedule it?
You can just schedule, yeah.
So we'll schedule it, let's give the,
Is there some discussion on the public hearing date so that we can have full public input, especially from people who don't have the
right,
ability to access this? June 16th, that's a month from now. Maybe we'll be able to open up by July, there's no rush on this. So what do you think?
Can we put in approving with the expectation that we will have an open meeting, not a telecommunications meeting?
yeah, I would like to see if we could get the public, you know, it would be fair to everybody to have the ability to come here if we're allowed to. So if we table it till July meeting, maybe we'll get lucky and things will open back up and be able to be face-to-face at least.
You do have an option. This is Kathy. So if you wanted to schedule it for June 16th, you could just open the hearing that night as a virtual meeting, and if we're still in virtual meetings, and then you could immediately table the meeting, no discussion, till the July meeting. So you could do that if you wanted to. You have plenty of time. Or you could just schedule it.
But this is Nancy. There's really no purpose, though. We could start it in July.
That's right.
I agree. It's safer, it's more prudent, it's probably wisest. I like to see it for July, let's see.
July
What date would that
21st.
be? Third Tuesday, yeah.
So
At
July
7.
21st.
July 21st
Make a
then.
motion-
If I can,
make a motion to-
wait, if I can just echo that as well, it would appear that the governor's second phase of things happens June 20th, if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
That's
I know
correct.
some things are happening at different dates, but June 20th seemed to be the larger lump.
So the July date will work.
So a July date would also be in keeping of that.
All right, is that, will
Thank you.
anyone else have anything to say on that before we just, we'll table it
No,
to the,
motion to schedule.
all right, I'll second it.
Motion to schedule public hearing for July 21st at 7 PM, room 205.
And I'll second that. All in favor to table it to the July meeting? Nancy Clark,
Aye.
Harmon Andrews,
Yes?
Alex,
Aye.
Ron Conti,
Aye.
Bob Harrison,
Aye.
and myself, I, Richard Tierno. All right, passed until, we're gonna delay it till July 23rd meeting. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, on that.
21st.
All right, other business. Let's see, the guardrails. Discussion regarding recommendations to the Board of Selectmen to lift the guardrail. Morning, Renham. All right.
So
What do you have anything on that?
back in January, February.
Yep.
You had a little subcommittee that got together and, made some recommendations to the Board of Selectmen. And the
Yep.
Board of Selectmen was sort of, I think the Selectmen's office got back to me and said, well, what should we do about this? And I think it was hashed out that maybe what we should do is incorporate these changes into the subdivision regulations.
I think Bob Harrison, you were part of this. Yes?
Bob Harrison was chief, yeah.
Yes. Any comments on this, Bob, at all? So the rest of the commission can kind of be up to speed. Any thoughts?
Basically, we placed a moratorium because the subdivision regulations for guardrails were non-compliant with anything
Yep.
that was a standard. So what we need to do now is incorporate the new regulations that we voted on, I don't know, was it 3 meetings ago?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they match what we're saying is prudent for the town.
This is Nancy, Bob,
Nancy?
or whoever. Yes, I don't think we should lift the moratorium until we have those in place, because then we have the gap there. It doesn't make sense unless there's some special reason that we need to lift the moratorium, because we're going to, Kathy's going to script the proposed regulation, and then we'll adopt it, and the moratorium should hold, I believe, until then.
Okay, so this is Kathy. So I can just start working on a draft, how we can incorporate it into the regulations, and then I'll bring that back to you.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
So we'll take,
Can I ask a follow-up question? This is Alex.
Alex?
I just had a follow-up question on that. It was, so there's the subdivision regulations, but there were also guidelines about guardrails or recommendations about guardrails in general. Am I mistaken on that? Or Bob, wasn't that work also on guardrails and guide rails throughout the town, not just in subdivisions?
Correct. The report that I gave the commission was guidance for basically public works for when they place guardrails, guide rails in different locations. And we identified the various types of rails that could be utilized, and we made recommendations in various circumstances as to what we would like to see. So now what we need to do is have Kathy work on a draft to come up with how we're going to incorporate those same guidelines into a subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Nancy again? Big mouth, but anyway. It was such a good job, and it took so long, and the committee did such a good job, and we did send those on to Board of Selectmen. I just don't see why we would leave a gap now for to lift the moratorium. Let's keep it until we have the draft and we get that in place. That's our purpose, really, is to recruit
Bob Harrison.
Bob?
I don't think anybody's looking to lift the moratorium tonight. I think we're just giving Kathy permission to start drafting up whatever recommendations we've given in the past.
Mm-hmm. Well, then we can just recommend to Nancy, the Board of Selectmen, that we not lift the moratorium until we have the new guidelines or recommendations or regulation in place.
I agree.
Yeah, there's no problem with that, except that there's two parts to it. One is for guardrails for subdivisions, and one was specifically for town roads.
That's right.
Which was the Public Works Department. Will
So
the
we can
Public
make a
Works?
draft for both. We make a draft for both.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments on the guardrails?
I think the report was well written.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was great work, Bob. Really great work.
Yep, nicely done.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is Mike Rosen. I would concur.
Mike?
I pat you on the back.
Yeah, just more pats on the back.
No money in your paycheck, just pats on the back.
So for the minutes,
So-
we can authorize Kathy to correspond with Board of Selectmen of this process.
All right, so we'll put that in the record. Good.
And come back with her recommendations.
With the guideline. Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, with the guideline,
Yep,
The
excellent.
draft.
With the draft.
the draft of the guideline. Right.
Excellent. All right.
I second that motion.
Okay, all in favor of Kathy taking care of that, and we move it, and we'll have the final one for the next meeting? Does that sound right, Kath? Too far away? Just July, maybe?
Well, they can try for the next meeting.
Next meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll give it a shot.
All right, all in favor,
Draft
Nancy?
regulations.
Aye.
Harmon?
Yes,
Alex?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Bob Harrison?
Aye.
And myself, Richard Tierdo, yes. Okay, thank you. All right, let's see, moving right along here. Under other business, scheduling a public hearing for the petition for designation of a scenic road status for Jeremy Swamp. The dirt portion from the intersection of Hulls Hill Road to Southbury, Oxford Town Line. Are we just accepting this for a public hearing
So-
for September?
So this is Kathy. Originally, we had talked, it had been talked about having the public hearing in June. Both the ordinance and the statutes just say the planning commission shall schedule a public hearing. There's no time limit. So we thought maybe we should just bump it out to September just to be safe.
And there's no time frame on it, so that makes sense.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Everybody okay with that?
Great idea. Great idea.
Yeah. Can I make one
Yes.
comment, Nancy?
Nancy Clark?
Good idea.
Yes, this was gone through before we had a public hearing, and one thing that happened in the last public hearing on this, where it was designated as a scenic road, was that all of the abutting property owners were not notified. Please, let's make sure that anyone within 500 feet of the dirt road there, the scenic road, be notified prior to the public hearing.
That's not what is required by the statutes or the ordinance. It's only people, the owners of property that have frontage on the scenic portion, the proposed scenic portion.
Yes, I'm aware of that. There were people who were affected, though. Would it be prudent to have public comment, everyone who uses that road there frequently? I mean, there's nothing against that, is there?
We'll follow standard public hearing procedures. I think that's the best way to go, because if we notify
that's
some
only-
people and not notify others, does that open you up to things? So,
Okay, so just abutting property owners will be notified?
people with frontage
The
on
entire
that
public.
portion.
Mike Rosen?
Yes.
Mike?
Per Kathy's point, as a public hearing, the town will follow its normal public hearing procedures in terms of sharing it with the newspaper and posting it in, in all the places we post all of our public hearings, and there should be public comment made possible at that meeting, and certainly by September 15th, hopefully, we'll be in a place to do that in person for sure, so.
Let's hope so. That'd be nice.
There's
Thank you, Mike.
One of the abutting properties is the Southbury Land Trust Phillips Farm parcel. So I would hope that then they could have some input also. There are 3 huge events on that property, and it abuts the dirt portion. There are 3, the Gladys Tabor Memorial, that's a couple hundred people. The Scouts have a jamboree there, that's a couple hundred people, just to make sure everyone who uses it, who can give us the best information, knows about it.
Yeah, I think, you're sure you're in the right place, Nance?
It's, Jeremy Swamp Road, Hulls Hill Road.
I think it's the other end, no?
Oh, I'm thinking the one that's already the scenic road.
Yeah, we're on the
I'm
dirt portion.
sorry. The dirt portion,
that goes towards Oxford, the Oxford border.
And Nancy, I think you're talking about Sanford Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's
Yes, you're
okay.
right.
Thank you, Nance. No problem. All right.
Okay.
So
Bob
we,
Harrison?
So scheduled for September 15th, that makes sense. Do we need to vote on that, Kath, or just put it on the schedule?
I think I just heard Bob,
Need a
trying
motion.
to chime in.
I'm sorry?
Bob Harrison, I was just going to point out that it was, in this discussion, it was mentioned that that dirt portion of Jeremy Swamp was already voted on as a scenic road, and I don't believe that is the case. I don't think it's ever been designated a scenic road.
That's correct.
Yeah, I don't remember that ever either.
That is correct.
Oh,
Okay, all right. So we'll schedule the hearing for September 15th, and we'll do the regular notification like we normally would. All right, thank you on that, everyone. All right, right along to the minutes. All right, let's see here. So just for the quick sake here, the minutes from, let's see. The minutes that we tabled from last month, we didn't get the information we needed to make the additions into the minutes. So we want to just table these again till next month if we can.
So, which information? You mean,
Information that was missing from the minutes. Nancy, you have information on that?
I have some, I don't know if anyone else has, but, I agree with you, there's no reason to, until we get all of the input.
so she's still you're gonna still work on that for the next meeting then?
Right, because we were
Okay.
waiting, remember, we talked through the email too, we were waiting for stuff that the attorney was waiting
The
for as well.
transcript.
That was the same.
But the verbatim transcripts, well, when was the decision
Yeah.
made? For Peter Road? What night, was it,
That was made recently.
Which decision?
that was in January?
January.
January. So we're only doing verbatims on the ones that had to do with that
Right.
project, and that was up through January, so these were later ones, right?
So the March meeting was the special, right? Was the March 5th, March 25th or the 4th? Those were the meetings for,
No, there were still, we had February 18th.
we were missing some information.
There was discussed, the Peter Road was discussed, even the Peter Road was discussed under other business on 325,
Yep.
where we discussed hiring the attorneys
But we're
and
only,
where,
we're only doing the verbatim transcripts that relate to the lawsuit, so that would only be during the public hearing and then the deliberation meeting where you made the decision. Beyond that, we don't do the verbatim transcripts for the meetings after that.
We're gonna need them for every meeting that was corresponding to the 61 Peter Road.
Even after the decision was made.
Whenever it ended up on the schedule, that's what we needed.
That wasn't what the attorney needed.
Yeah, he said he wanted everything to do with whenever discussion was made on it.
Okay, I'll clarify with
Yeah,
him
we'll clarify.
exactly which meetings,
Yeah.
yeah, because then it just adds to the cost
Okay.
if it's ones that aren't
Yep.
part of that, yeah.
one clarification on the February 18th, if you can address that with him, or you can listen to it, whatever. On February 18th, we had representation there from the town attorney. And what didn't appear that I didn't see, and maybe the other commissioners recall also, was we asked Attorney Tinley who invited him, and he said the town. This is what I recall. That's why it's helpful to get something written or transcribed so we know exactly what it was. And also I asked who he was representing, and he said the town. And then I remember Rich, if you remember, you asked him, did he have a conflict of interest? And he didn't answer, but he said he could not represent, and this says it in the meetings, in the minutes, he could not represent either party in the lawsuit, either the Board of Selectmen or the Planning Commission, but he never said in court. And all of a sudden in the minutes it says in court. He just said he could not represent either party.
That's right.
Okay, and that was February 18th?
So we should delete in court.
Okay.
So
And we should add what the questions were. What I asked him, who invited him, what I asked him, who he was representing, when Rich asked him about, did he have a conflict of interest, none of that appeared in the minutes, and it's certainly pertinent for the lawsuit. So that's why the transcription is important.
All right, so then we'll just table those minutes till next month. And then 421 though, that one should be, can we see 421 minutes, Betsy? Thank you, just so I can double check that.
Mike Rosen?
Mike Rosen?
But the one thing I would, suggest is, it's not as simple as just delaying minutes. The more minutes are delayed, the less transparency there is to the public. So certainly on the ones that you do have issues with, that you need clarification on to ensure they're accurate, of course, take the time you need on those. But if any of these dates can be approved, I'd encourage you to move forward with approving minutes that aren't aren't still having to be discussed or revised or
Right.
adapted to satiate the rest of the board for sake of transparency to the public.
So
I agree. I think March 4th is fine, as far as I'm concerned.
March 4th
It's simple.
and 421, we should be able to approve tonight.
I do have a comment on April 21st, the 421 meeting.
Okay,
I just would like added within the discussion of the purchase of Edgewood Bath and Tennis Club, there's just nowhere that's that's noted my concern with regard to the health and safety impacts of the pandemic or the economic burdens of the pandemic for this project.
Right there, it says concerned up a little bit, right there.
It's yeah, I was concerned that acquiring a property located in another
That's, would
town
you
with
roll
no
back up a
municipal rights,
second?
but
Yeah, they're right there, Commissioner, yeah, right there, very concerned about town may acquire. Here we go. Right there,
to
Alex?
sixth paragraph, yep.
Okay,
If also could be added, just that you know, I had the concerns later after that comment, but my concerns were with regard to the pandemic, that there was health and safety concerns as well as economic burdens that may not make
Okay.
taking on a project like this prudent.
I remember also, if I'm not, Alex, that you said also we were concerned with that there would be any public access, and then the effect of that on the whole running of the club, and yes, the economic investment in this economy, yeah.
This is Kathy. I just want to point out, Debbie did these minutes practically verbatim. She listened to the entire recording, wrote it all out, and then did the minutes practically verbatim. So we're kind of getting a little bit out of control with the amount of detail we want in, I think, sometimes. So, you know, we just have to, we can't always get every single comment. But I just want to let you know she spent a tremendous amount of time on these, so.
I certainly don't mean to, put down Debbie's efforts at all. She does a tireless job, for sure.
but the minutes, you know, they should reflect what was said.
Right,
If
they
someone picked up the
reflect-
minutes, they should get a quick overview of really what happened
Right.
and get an idea of what was said and their people's feelings on what they said on top of, you know, their bias on it. So we should make sure we get as much in as possible. So Deb, you have those quick comments from Alex to put in there as well? That she's mentioned?
I'd have to go back and listen to the tape again.
And that's fine, you know,
Okay.
yeah, and it was after my initial comments, Debbie. It was towards, it was right towards the vote that I
Yep.
said that
Yep.
piece.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so we can, Alex, you okay with going ahead and approving that with those additions put in?
That would be fine.
Okay, so we can approve 3/4/20 and 4/21/20 this evening. Let's just see if everybody was here, so we make sure we get the vote right.
I'm sorry, you're putting forward which minutes? The
Let's do them one at a
Four-
time. The
four
March-
twenty-
We're gonna do
21?
4/21 first.
Fine.
4/21 first. Let's see, Ron was here, Alex Harmon, right, so. So nobody was
Motion to
absent.
approve with-
Okay, excellent. So we can take a
with
vote on
as
approving,
amended,
what's that,
as
Nancy?
amended. Motion to approve as amended.
Okay. I'll second it.
Second.
Oh, Alex, okay, that's fine. All in favor of approval? Nancy Clark,
Aye.
Aye.
Harmon Andrews,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Ron Conti,
Aye.
Bob Harrison,
Aye.
and myself, Richard Chiaro, yes. All right, 4:21 minutes
Motion
passed.
to approve. Motion to approve the March 4th minutes as presented.
I'll second it. All in favor of approving the minutes from March the 4th? Let's see, there was nobody absent? No, Ed Hatfield was out, that's fine. All right, all in favor of it? Nancy Clark,
Aye.
Harmon Andrews,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Ron Conti,
Aye.
Bob Harrison,
I abstain. The reason was that it was the meeting that I left.
excellent.
Yes.
And Richard Chiaro, yes. So we'll pass the minutes approval for 3/4/2020. All right, and we'll table the February the 18th and 3/25 as well, till next meeting, okay? All right,
And both pertain to this Peter Road. They
I'm
do.
sorry?
Yes.
Both 218 and 325 have information that's pertinent to our lawsuit.
Yes,
That's why we need them transcribed.
yep, we just talked about that. We'll talk about that. Okay, excellent. All right, any other business that comes in front of the commission? Anybody have anything that they want to talk about or
I have
Bring it.
one thing. We all went on a site visit to the Peter Road property, and I took minutes and I presented them to the commission, and they were never set for approval.
Okay.
It was on January 11th.
Deb, do you have anything on that? Any copy of those at all?
Yeah, they're filed in the town clerk's office.
Okay. So they don't get put into the minutes and put online for everybody? The special
No,
site visit?
no, they're minutes. We have to approve it.
Right. Deb
No,
says they're
we
in the,
did- yes,
Deb says
because
they're in the file,
It was
Nance.
a meeting because,
Yeah, we don't
I
usually
know,
send
but
out site
we
visits.
had a quorum
Just,
and we had minutes, so we need to approve them like every other meeting.
we don't.
I'll
They
review
just
it
don't
with
get
Debbie.
filed.
I'll review it with her. We'll look
Thank
at it.
There was a quorum though, so we do have to have something on file for it.
If it was Mike Rosen?
Mike?
Was it a noticed meeting?
It was-
I'll research it.
Yes, it was,
Okay.
yes, it was at the prior meeting when we set the time and place.
Yeah, we had definitely scheduled that when you were at our meeting for sure. All right, so
We
Deb
had
says she
quorum.
has them, so we'll look into that.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
Point of
Nance.
interest, I drove out to ComSat today. It looks like they've completed the installation of the antennas. It looks like you should take a ride out to Mitchell Farm and see what they've done. It's interesting. That's it.
It's completed all the way?
It looks like it's complete.
Nice.
The dishes seem to be all facing upwards. There's 28 dishes up on the level part of the hill, and put the dishes up on top. At Mitchell Farm, you can see everything. Drive into ComSat entrance, and you can see all of they got some huge dishes up there now. Take a ride.
Sounds
That's
good.
it.
Can you, Harmon, can you drive in there? I thought it was a secure site.
Yes, you can drive to the gate and look in through the fence, and you can see up on the hill all of the new dishes, and there's some big dishes down below. But just drive past Mitchell Farm into where the ComSat gate is, and you can see most of it. And you just drive back out again. But you're right, it's all fenced in. You can't get any closer.
Right,
Yes. Okay.
all right. Thank you, Harmon. Anyone else have
Okay.
anything before we motion to adjourn? All right, who would like to make the motion to adjourn?
Move we adjourn, Harmon.
Harmon Andrews made a motion to adjourn. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night. Stay safe.